Right, here we are live with 5 more miles, based out of Winnipeg, Manitoba. So we'll just start it off short and sweet. Why don't you guys give us a history of the band?
All right. Yeah, where do we start? Um, we've all kind of been playing together for what 10 years? Is that what we said?
10 years as
10 years as 5 more miles. Yeah, we started out as just a basement jam band for 5 years prior to that. So I would say 15 years total. We've been kind of playing together. Cam, you came in about 13 years ago, I would say.
Yeah, about 2012.
2012. Yeah. So yeah, me and PJ met. We worked together for a brief period of time and decided we wanted to play some music together. And once we realized we could actually make some half decent music, we said, let's put a name to it and play some of the bars and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of our,
from there.
yeah, it went up from there.
Yeah, excellent. So you guys got obviously anyone who, if anyone's watching that doesn't know of you, you do have some releases on social media, on Spotify, and is it Apple or Amazon?
It should be both. Yeah,
Okay. Good. There's so many streaming services. You probably got it on 50 and you don't know it yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So let's talk releases. What do you got out? Five now?
5 out, yeah.
5 out. Why don't you give us a little rundown of the songs that are out?
All right. Well, let's see. What was the first three we put out? We put out Boy to Man, Torn Apart, and what was the third one? What we did first? Slow Down?
It goes on.
It goes on, right? Yeah. So what about those? Boy to Man. That song was kind of around for a while, and we never really picked it up until a little bit later on, because I wrote that one quite a few years ago just as a whim on the acoustic guitar, and then we decided we're going to try and make something of it, and it turned out really well. We all put our own twist on it, and so that one, and then what was that? Torn Apart. That was an
afternoon of a little bit of whiskey and acoustic guitar.
After ideas and creativity involved, and and then we ended up writing Torn Apart, and and as everything, we brought it to the rest of the guys, and we all kind of put our spin on it, and then It Goes On. That song was I wrote that one kind of a long time ago, and it was a song that kind of was close to my heart, and something that I wanted to see if the guys liked it, and they all said, heck yeah, let's do it. So those were our first three, and we waited. We anticipated doing that for a long time, and finally we were able to make the jump to record, and it was a super cool experience for us all. We went. We were in Paintbox Recording Studios. Yeah, and they were awesome to work with. And Mark Reeves was a good friend of ours and our producer, and it was just a super cool experience to record those three songs, and then we did record 5 in total, like you said, and then we released the other 2, What Goes On, What You Become, and Slow Down. But we're looking forward to getting back in the studio whenever that'll be. We're not quite sure. We're hoping sometime this winter, maybe fall, winter time, but yeah.
Hopefully.
And what was it like having someone so respected as Mark Reeves kind of there as guidance in the studio with you? What did he bring to that?
Well, Mark actually brought a lot. I mean, he brought a lot to the table. He's such a professional. I mean, if you've ever had the fortune to see Mark play live, there's a guy who just goes up, I mean, and owns the stage, and he's been around for a long time. I mean, it was kind of cool for me because I used to go and see him. This is going back to just after high school. I used to go to bars and then watch him play. So I've followed Mark for a long, long time, and it was kind of cool to finally, get to work with him. I had gone up and played drums for him when I called myself a kid at that time. So it's kind of neat to go up and play, and he was kind enough to let me jam with him a little bit. And so it was really nice to be able to work with him and just to have that influence and have somebody at that caliber come in and help us hone our songs and bring everything together so that we were ready to go into the studio and just put something out that we can be proud of. It felt good. Yeah, it was a fantastic experience for us. I think all of us learned a lot from that.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Cam, yourself, we had a chat the one night, and you told me about what Mark brought in there, and you had some stuff already penned out for yourself, and he kind of changed it on the fly for you there.
Yeah.
How did that work out for you?
Well, it turned out pretty good. Basically, I had written a lead for Torn Apart there. We had spent the whole day in the studio. Everybody's getting tired. We record the lead, and I thought it was perfect. I was happy with it. And Mark comes on the mic and he says, "That was good, but I want you to do something totally different." So he's and it worked out. It worked out good. He's very good at pushing people out of their comfort zone without making you feel uncomfortable. He kind of brings that out in people, right? So, but absolutely great to have in the studio for sure.
Excellent.
That was huge.
BJ, you're wearing a Headstone shirt right now. Just wondering what, I guess questions for all four of you. What influences have you had, in the last 15 years of playing, right? You've done the covers, you've got originals. I saw you guys play Friday night. You did a couple, covers from what I saw as well. But it seemed to be a little bit different this time. The covers it seemed like you were taking a different path musically.
Yeah, we've kind of figured out, where we're comfortable and in the direction that we want to go, and that was also influenced by Mark too. He kind of said you got a direction, which of course as a band you definitely have to do that. And we just fell into this comfort zone, and I think now we're kind of writing songs that fit into that genre. And I have a Headstone shirt. Definitely one of my favorite, probably my favorite band. I've got so many influences from, everywhere, like Headstones to, oh man, it's all over the map. Big band, Buddy Rich. It's a wide variety, I'll tell you that much. But this is kind of where we work well together as a group, and it seems to be working for us right now. So continuing on this path.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, there's a wide range of age in our band as well.
Yeah.
I'm looking PJ at the top of the list here, but I mean, so like some of the bands that like when I first kind of was getting into music, I was more into the, I guess, kind of a punk rock scene as far as Green Day and Blink-182, and I was in a high school band that played, that kind of stuff where you're jumping around and just playing power chords the whole time. And then I still had some influences, like I would take my dad's CDs, whether it was Dire Straits or Eric Clapton or something like that, so I had some of the 70s in there as well. But as I got a little bit older, I started enjoying my country influences, like even in some of the new stuff too, like I'm a big Luke Combs fan, for instance. I like his stuff a lot, and I like a little bit of everything as long as it sounds good and there's, if I can groove to it, I'm happy with that. Well, after meeting these two guys here, I started getting into the Headstones and, Tragically Hip, Bare Naked Ladies, that kind of stuff too, right? But that's where mostly my influences were.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Bare Naked Ladies and Blue Rodeo, and I grew up 90s rock, so Headstones, PJ got me into the Headstones. Offspring and Soundgarden and stuff like that. And honestly, like you had mentioned, you've seen us kind of in previous years, but the band looks a little bit different. And like you mentioned, we had a lot of more 90s rock, AC/DC and stuff like that we were throwing into our set. But we had a little bit of change happen more recently in the band. So now we've kind of pivoted more to that country guess Southern rock style is more what we're feeling right now. But yeah, it's very much it's very different from what I grew up listening to. So it's been a lot of fun playing it.
Okay.
How
How about
Cam?
yourself, Cam?
Huge range of influences. I grew up listening to 90s country, Alan Jackson, Tim McGraw, all that kind of stuff. That was all huge. And then once I started playing guitar, just got into like heavier stuff from Megadeth to Pantera to and just kind of blew it wide open and got into all that stuff. So lately, now we've kind of found our niche, I guess, which, like Chad said, kind of Southern rock sound, and definitely gotten into lately a lot of Joe Bonamassa and Blackberry Smoke. Charlie Starr is a huge influence. I absolutely love his tone and everything, and that's basically it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Any bands, even locally, that you guys are listening to right now, you'd recommend to anyone to check out?
Well, I know people have mentioned a few already, but Northern Oil, they're like pretty good friends with those guys, and definitely would like to push them a little bit.
Yeah,
for sure.
And like also came up, Mark Reeves. If you've never seen him, it is a wild show to go watch. He can't help but move and groove. Two friends of mine that I've really looked up to in Winnipeg is Jamie Buckborough, and he plays with all kinds of bands, and then also Bobby DeGarlis. He's unreal. Those guys, JD Edwards, they're all such amazing talent in the city. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it really is. And with this podcast in the next, I'd say next month and maybe a bit, we're going to be focusing a lot on the Winnipeg bands. It's kind of where we've kind of been going, because you're seeing a lot of good bands coming out of Winnipeg, and it seems to be all genres too, right? The last band we had on there, last two that were on tonight, they tend to be more towards the heavy, and you guys are more of almost the Southern rock feel. But it's just been booming for the last couple of years, and for me, I feel it almost started at the where it really clicked in with me was the Live at the Roslyn. If you guys ever watched any of that, and it started going from there, and there's so much support in the city for bands with other bands, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of got each other's back right now, it seems, and it's obviously it's good for the city. So there's a lot of the music scene can only go so far with certain venues as well. And you guys played the Riverside the other night, which was my first time at the Riverside, but great venue, great atmosphere. Any other places you could touch on that has that same feel?
Well, we had a lot of years playing. We used to play Shannon's quite often. That was one of our favorite places to play. It's they always have great music, and it was a great atmosphere anytime we ever played there. What else?
Well, as far as going out and watching bands locally, I mean, Park Theater is just a great venue if you get an opportunity to go and see anybody there. It's good to see some local talent. Winnipeg, King's pretty good.
Times Change,
Times
Change,
yeah,
great,
sure.
great, yeah.
Well, but get out and support the local groups. There's so much good music out there, and so much talent. It's unreal. Winnipeg's very, very good that way. It has been for many, many years. Yeah. I come from a very musical family, so like my dad's a drummer, and my uncle's a keyboard player, and he was touring with bands back in the 60s. So it's there's always been something here. There's something in the water in Manitoba.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you guys have any favorites out of your own catalog to play live? The other night, obviously, two songs that no one's heard yet. You laid those out, PJ. Apparently, you wrote those ones.
A couple that I wrote, yeah, we did one. Mike's got one that we did. So those are the ones that we're looking to get recorded at some point. That's a big push right now. We're still trying to hone those in a little bit and get them just right. But yeah, we want to try and keep introducing some new material for sure.
And we got a couple that are, like half written and just got to sit down and kind of put a little more time and work into them. But yeah, there's definitely some new stuff coming, and for sure keep your eyes open for that, because we'll be putting them out as soon as we can and kind of keep this ball rolling,
I think for me, when it came to the studio sessions, we did What You've Become. It was one of those things where Mark just kind of turned on the recording and said, just try this, if you guys got something that you want to try it. I said, we have this one ready. And that was recorded live off the floor, so that was kind of cool, and it turned out really well, and it's one of my favorites from our current releases for sure.
Yeah, we were in the studio there, and he looked over and he clicked record when we were just jamming. So we have it was kind of a long unedited version, and we're just jamming, and then we're going to use that, I think, and kind of cut it down a bit. And it was like he just wanted us to just kind of have some fun and not really think about being recorded. We were just doing the run through, and it turned out that was a good run through that we kept. So it was kind of cool. It was not planned at all. So
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, that's
Someone's
my dog.
dog.
Yeah.
It's all good. So what's the what do you guys got for a plan moving forward? Obviously, you want to go and do some more songs. Is there any certain goals you have in mind? You had your eyes on Dauphin Country Fest or anything like that?
yeah, I mean, actually, that's one of the things we've been talking about for sure. Is I would love to play Dauphin Country Fest with our group, and even rocking the field of Minnedosa would be cool to do that. I would love to do that. And then one of my goals personally, I'm sure the guys can agree, it would be super awesome one day to be on the stage of the Burt, because that's just an amazing venue. So
Absolutely, that's a bucket list one there for sure.
The Burt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, getting into open for some bands or something would be fantastic. It would be nice to do a night with some local groups, if we can get together with some 2 or 3 other groups and kind of get out and just do a night somewhere like a park or something like that. That'd be fantastic for sure.
On a lot of our shows, we've just kind of stuck to go up. We have 3 sets of our own, which is fun too. But it's we want to try and spread out and play with some other bands, because you can make such good connections and meet really awesome musicians that you never even knew existed. And then now you guys can play shows together, and it just makes them all that much more fun when you can play your set and then have a seat and watch them rock it out on the same stage, and then all kind of talk about it after, and just makes good memories, when you can do that kind of thing. So
yeah, it almost gets to that point where you almost prefer to go up and do one set rather than do one sit down, and not to take anything from it, like you guys did it the other night, and sounded great through the whole way, but it just gets to that point where you almost realize you got to start networking more, right, and meeting people, and there's nothing much better than that. So
it's nice to stand and watch someone else play too.
Oh yeah, absolutely, right.
Yeah,
exactly. So how does a band like you that has 4 members in it that it can all do lead vocals, Mike, how do you get stuck with most vocals?
yeah, well, and then they're singing too, and I'm like, what? Maybe I just want to take a back seat here, and you sing the next one. It's kind of nice, honestly, because if I'm wearing out at a show and my vocals are kind of feeling a little tired, we have a whole bunch of songs where we can go, okay, you sing lead on the next one, and honestly, one of my favorite things, like I started out kind of as more guitar when I was younger, and I would sing, but I mean, I don't think I really found my voice till I was more in my 20s per se. And I'm really taking a loving to singing vocals now, and I also love doing harmonies and backups. So I'm just as happy singing harmonies as I am singing lead to an extent, because I just think it sounds awesome. And now we can do 4-piece harmonies, and it's like there's nothing cooler than that. I find when you get on stage and you can just hit that amazing vocal. You don't even have to play the guitar. You can do the whole damn thing a cappella, and it would sound amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, we're not going to take that away from Cam because he likes to play the guitar.
Yeah.
Cam. Oh no, go ahead, PJ.
I just going to follow up. Like it's nice to be able to switch off like that and give, at least Mike can get a little bit of a break from the lead. I can take over for something. Chad can pop in and do something. But having those harmonies, it gives you some opportunity too. And there's not as much of that on the music scene right now, so it kind of gives us a little bit of an edge, bit of an advantage in some ways. I kind of like it. It's good. It's a great opportunity to go out and kind of feature everybody as a group. And then when we're sitting down and writing, we're all writing together. We have some nights where we do a rehearsal, and it'll just be sitting around on the couch like this and an acoustic guitar and going over just our vocals only. And it's a lot of fun. It's a different aspect of the whole music, experience, you call it.
Yep. Cam, you're one of the smoothest lead guitar players I've seen in a long time. What do you use as an approach into writing a solo?
Honestly, most of our leads are just make it up as you go type of thing. I'm just kind of really picky with my playing. I like to have, every note clear if I can and not a lot of fumbling around. And I don't know, maybe, I guess just being really, like I said, really picky about it. Tone too. I know that these guys always laugh because I'm always like, oh, aren't they going to change this or try this amp here? And I got this pedal here, I'm going to boost this. And just picky about tone, picky about playing, and I guess be pretty hard on myself too. If I make a little blip here, I'll be disappointed in that, and most people are like, we didn't even know that happened, right? But yeah, just really picky about it, I guess.
Yeah, you hear it every time though, right?
I hear it. Yeah, exactly.
Chad, I'm gonna get you talking a bit. Why don't you tell us a little about your garage party you have every year?
Oh, you had to bring it up, eh? Great to come out last year and play. Usually in August I throw a big garage party and I get a handful of local either bands or just musicians come in and it's just a big block party. Everybody's welcome. I throw in about 100 invitations. I usually get about 80 people throughout the day. Unfortunately, this year we weren't able to pick a date to do it, so it's not happening this year. Yeah, it was. I kept throwing out dates, and there's key players. Obviously, 5 More Miles, the members here have to be there, but there's a couple other people that pretty much a staple. They have to be there because they're part of putting it all together. And just couldn't line up a date this year for the life of us. We tried, but yeah. So maybe next year.
Yeah. What about merch? Is there anywhere people can get merch? Do you have it yourselves, or is there a site that people go on?
We don't have a site right now, but we are just in the process of putting in another order of some merch, some new stuff, because we had some stuff a couple of years ago that we're kind of basically out of, and we've just kind of been focused more on the recording part of things. But we just did go over some new merch that we're going to be ordering, so we will definitely post that when it does come available and get it moving as soon as we can. Yeah. We post most of our stuff on. We have a Facebook page, which obviously 5 More Miles, and Instagram as well. We're a 5 More Miles band on Instagram, and so we'll definitely get that stuff out there as soon as we can.
Excellent. Any other shows coming up? Anything live coming up?
Yeah. Well, we're actually going to be back at the Riverside. Not till September. September 21st? 21st. We'll be back at the Riverside. Should be another real good time. We enjoy playing there, and they're super awesome hosts. Morgan, she kind of helps put it all together. She runs or manages there or whatever, and so that's our next I guess local gig, right? We got some other private functions we're doing for the next little while, but as most people, our summers are pretty crazy and full weekends, so it's hard to squeeze in too many shows, but yeah, the next one you can in Winnipeg you can watch out for would be that at the Riverside. Yeah, September 21st.
Excellent. Anything else you'd like to talk about regarding your music? Anything?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, as far as writing together, I mean, I think that's a big part of why we've been together and stuck together for so long. We seem to have this ability to just get together and everybody plays their own part in how we write songs and how we put everything together. Everybody's got their opinions, and it's kind of it's nice to have that camaraderie. And there's no, I don't think we've ever really had any major disagreements on any kind of writing or anything like that. So it's nice to be able to do that and have a group of people that you can just hang out with, and really we all seem to come together, and we all enjoy it just so much. Yeah. Right?
Well, we all, like you were kind of saying, getting in the studio, and I feel like it kind of ignited a bit of a little fire under our ass. Like we had a new, it's coming out of the studio, and all of a sudden you just feel like you want to do more. All of a sudden, you want to write more. We're like, that was such a cool experience. It just kind of put you into third gear kind of thing and ready to go. And yeah, it's just and we're evolving every year. We've been since we've kind of been playing together for about 15 years. We basically practice every single week, once a week. We rarely miss a week, and we just because even if it's not for practicing for a show, like if we miss a week of jam, it's like it kind of sucks. If we miss 2 weeks, I start going through withdrawals. Like I literally, it keeps me sane personally for everything. Mental health. I think we've all kind of said like this keeps us grounded in a way. It's we're not doing it for the so much for the putting on a show for anybody. I mean, we love entertaining people, obviously, but we're doing it for us because that's the way we just love to do it, and like because we've been playing together so long, it's become more of a family experience. You know what I mean? And it's we're not constantly trying to find people to fill positions or going out to shows that with someone you don't really know very well or something per se. Like we can all kind of look at each other on stage and know what you're thinking to an extent. Like it's kind of nice because you just become so comfortable with the people you're playing with. You're almost able to read their minds. Like me and Cam, we can look at each other and okay, yeah, you're taking this solo. You don't even have to say nothing or whatever. And like when we're jamming, I like to do some leads too. But like I said, I take on the more of the fumbling side of things, and I let Cam be the overly anal person. No, I'm just kidding. But,
it's okay. You can say
no, it's super cool that we've been able to stick together for this long with some ups and downs and name changes almost and that kind of thing and genre changes. Like we started out playing so much different stuff in a way, and we still had wide varieties of stuff, but like you said, or we were saying, we kind of honed in on our niche, and we'll probably stick to that for now anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, you're I've seen you play live, handful of times, seen it live. Very tight band, obviously. You're all quite in sync with each other, when you kind of I noticed around quite a bit. You're all in sync with everything. Even if someone's strap comes loose, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They got your back.
Yeah. Someone has to, right?
Yeah. You just got to yell at him.
Hey. I didn't know what he was talking about. I thought he broke the string, so he's yelling at me. I look over, I'm like, the strings are fine. What do you want from me? Like, and then I realize the strap's down and he's holding it like this, and I'm like, I stop playing. So we had to kind of make it, and then he made it to the rest of the song with no strap, and it was pretty rock star.
For sure, right? Excellent. Well, I think I only got one more question before we wrap things up. You guys are aware that PJ plays in a a different band called Ion Crush. Are you ever worried about losing him to that band?
You know what? Now, whoever that bugger is that's trying to coach him, I'm going to find him.
All right, guys.
I joke around that PJ's our secret weapon, so I mean, I don't doubt you trying to take him away, but he knows where his home is.
Yeah. It's kind of nice, I really enjoy having that opportunity to play with other musicians too. It kind of pushes me out of my comfort zone, and I know with Ion Crush, like you mentioned, like we do some things that are a little different, and it's nice to have a different role in that. So I really like that. I love having that opportunity to play with other musicians and get different influences and have push me out of my comfort zone too. It's been really good.
Excellent. I just had a power surge here. That was a little weird. Well, you saw the light going on there. It was a little strange. Excellent. Well, thanks for coming on the show, guys. Great to talk to you guys. Obviously, this is live on YouTube. It will be posted on Facebook after. We have a bit of a delay on that. So anyway, your music will be out there, and anyone watching at any point, whether it's live or whether it's on the Facebook feed later, definitely check this band out. Got some originals on Spotify, Amazon, Apple. Like I said, probably 50 other sites they just don't know. So definitely check them out. And thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Okay. See you guys later.
See ya.
Yeah.